Give me a second, man. I might be sitting here live and y'all just looking at me, or I'm just looking at myself. Streamlabs is interesting. I definitely need to find. Okay, so this time I'm finally live. Okay. Need to find. Okay, so this time I'm. Get that Streamlabs. All right, y'all. I apologize. Having hella issues with Streamlabs. It wasn't going live, and it was going live. I had to reset it a couple times. Yeah. I don't have a lot to talk about, so we're pretty much gonna get into the readings. Had a Reiki session a little earlier. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. They were able to get a little release, so it was good for them, and it's always good for me to practice my craft a little bit more. Yeah. I probably will make a video of it. Well, they gave me permission, so I definitely will make a video of it at some point. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And again, I hope everybody's been having a very good week. My week has been pretty good. Started off a little interesting. Going through this hold on. The stream should be live now. Hold on, somebody just texted me and asked me what happened to the stream. Let me check. Oh, Lord have mercy. What? What's going on? Yeah, oh shit, I'm live. What are you talking about? Yeah, it says I'm live. I'm sorry, people. I'm the only person watching myself. Let me check Facebook. I don't know. Give me a second. I really apologize for this. But sure, because it wasn't last time. What's going on? Sure, because it wasn't last time. Oh my God. Am I not live? Oh, I'm live. I don't know what she's talking about. On YouTube, I'm live. I'm over here looking at myself, looking crazy. It says I'm live. I'm sorry, people. I'm the only person watching myself. Let me check Facebook. Yeah, it says live, so she is gonna have to. Not my concern. Anyway, it says we live. Everywhere I go, it says we live. So I don't know what's going on. Lo siento. Excuse me. I even turned that thing on. Yeah, I got pants on today. So I won't be embarrassing my family. I got my water in my big cup. Yeah. Where we at? Chapter 13. Yep. Give me 1 second. Boop, 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 doo. Doop, 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 doo. Be multitasking like hell. Let me get these lights together. Da, da, da. Yeah. Listen, that lamp I've had for a long time. Sometimes I'd be surprised that that thing still be working. But I don't remember when I bought it. The app is terrible though. It works sometimes and other times it doesn't. Then whenever it wants to, it's just crazy. But when it works, I love the lamp. Like if you play music through your phone, it the lights can change to the beats of the songs that you're playing and all that stuff. Ooh, excuse me. This is my sarcastic statement loading. I'm a little dry. Okay, thank you. I can see your message too, so and you should be able to see it too. Yeah, I told you I don't know what was going on, but every time I tried to log in, it wasn't showing the scheduled event for YouTube. And then when I went to create a new event, it was like, nah, you can't do that. Then when it got on live, it didn't initiate the sound. It said something with the sound. And I remember you said in the last live, the sound was atrocious. It was definitely off a little bit. So, yeah, I got my blankie. What is that? That lap. Oh, the pale mic is the best. It is. I ain't even gonna lie. And I think I have been forgetting how to turn on the noise cancellation. But I looked at what is it, the little manual or whatever, and it's terrible. So it really don't show nothing. But I think that whatever that symbol meant is noise cancellation, so it should be good. Jacksonville. T-Cake's letter had said Jacksonville. He had worked on the railroad shops up there before, and his old boss had promised him a job come next payday. No need for Janie to wait any longer. Thank you. I'm glad it does sound crisp and clear. I still think on Tuesdays we got the sound a lot better. It don't sound that bad, but you still don't get the same level of clarity of this lapel mic. So yeah, it is a beast. So if you're thinking about getting a lapel mic, definitely do it. Let me see. What is my little case? I ordered it. I really don't want to get no free. Oh, Jesus Christ. I really don't want to get no free publicity, but yeah, the mic is actually kind of dope. So hold on, let me get the little case. Yeah. So I don't know what it is. I can't even say the name of it. I can't remember. Zafri or something that start with a Z. And it's something Asian. You know how Amazon is. But it comes with a little side note. It comes with a little case. And the case actually charges the lapel mics. And you get 2 lapel mics. Can you say, hold on, I'm messing up. I got one on, and that's the other one right there. Check it out. And then, so you can use them both at the same time and get the receiver. And all you do is just plug it in the bottom of your phone, turn on the mic, and go to work. And it got the little, hold on, let me see. You can see it. Because the case charges the mics. And then, of course, I can charge the case or charge the case and the mics at the same time. But it's going to be perfect for when I'm traveling. So you see the little lights on the front there. Let you know how much battery in the case or whatever. They were showing. Now they don't want to show. They're trying to embarrass me in front of the company. Anyway, yeah, great mic. You think about getting a lapel mic, do yourself the favor. It's worth it. You know, especially if you've been with me, you know how bad my sound has been. Yeah, we've been traveling through the journey of terrible sounds. You know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna start over. Jacksonville. T Cake's letters had said Jacksonville. He had worked in the railroad shops up there before his old boss had promised him a job come next payday. No need for Janie to wait any longer. Wear the new blue dress because he meant to marry her right from the train. Hurry up and come because he was about to turn into pure sugar thinking about her. Come on, baby. Papa T Cake never could be mad with you. Janie's train left too early in the day for the town to witness much, but the few who saw her leave bore plenty witness. They had to give it to her. She sure looked good, but she had no business to do it. It was hard to love a woman that always made you feel so wishful. The train the train beat on itself and danced on the shiny steel rails mile after mile. Every now and then, the engineer would play on his whistle for the people in the towns he passed by, and the train shuffled on to Jacksonville and a whole lot of things she wanted to see and know. And there was Tea Cake in a big old station in a new blue suit and straw hat, hauling her off to a preacher's house first thing. Then, right onto the room he had been sleeping in for 2 weeks all by himself, waiting for her to come. And such another hugging and kissing and carrying on you never saw. It made her so glad that she was scared for herself. They stayed at home and rested that night. But the next night, they went to a show, and after that, they rode around on trolley cars and sort of looked things over for themselves. Tea Cake was spending and doing it out of his own pocket. So Janie never told him about the $200 she had pinned to the inside of her shirt. Phoebe had insisted that she bring it along and keep it a secret just to be on the safe side. She had $10 over her fare in her pocketbook. Let Tea Cake think that he was all she had. Things might not turn out like she thought. Every minute since she had stepped off the train, she had been laughing at Phoebe's advice. She meant to tell Tea Cake the joke, but sometime when she was sure she wouldn't hurt his feelings. So it came around that she had been married a week and sent Phoebe a card with a picture on it. That morning, TK got up earlier than Janie did. She felt sleepy and told him to go get some fish to fry for breakfast. By the time he had gone and come back, she would have finished her nap. And he told her, excuse me, he told her he would, and she turned over and went back to sleep. She woke up and TK still wasn't there. And the clock said it was getting late, so she got up and washed her face and hands. Perhaps he was down in the kitchen fixing around to let her sleep. Janie went down and the landlady made her drink some coffee with her because she said her husband was dead and it was a bad thing having your morning coffee by yourself. Your husband going to work this morning, Miss Woods? I seen him go out a good while ago. Me and you can be company for each other. Oh, yes, Miss Samuels. He put me in the mind of my friend back in Edenville. Yeah, you so nice and friendly just like her. Therefore, Janie drank her coffee and sank on the back to her room without asking the landlady anything. Tea Cake must be hunting all over the city for that fish. She kept that thought in the front of her in order to not think too much. When she heard that 12 o'clock whistle, she decided to get up and get dressed. That's when she found out her $200 was gone. There was a little cloth purse with the safety pin on the chair beneath her clothes, and the money just wasn't nowhere in the room. She knew from the beginning that money wasn't any place she knew of if it wasn't in that little pocketbook pinned to pink silk vest. But the exercise of searching the room kept her busy, and it was good for her to keep moving, even though she wasn't doing anything but turning around in her tracks. Excuse me. But don't care how firm your determination is, you can't keep turning around in one place like a horse grinding sugar cane. So Janie took sitting to the sitting room. Sit and look. The room inside looked like a mouth of an alligator, gaped wide open to swallow something down. Outside the window, Jacksonville looked like it needed a fence around it to keep from running out on Ether's bosom. It was too big to be warm, let alone to need somebody like her. All day and night she worried, time like a bone. Way late in the morning, the thought of Annie Taylor and Who Flung came to pay her a visit. You remember they warned her about Annie Taylor and Who Flung. He was the young dude that took her money and ran off. Annie Taylor, who at 52 had been left a widow with a good home and insurance money. Miss Tyler, with her dyed hair, newly straightened, and her uncomfortable new false teeth, her leathery skin blotched with powder, and her giggle. Her love affairs with boys in their late teens or early 20s, for all of whom she spent her money on suits of clothes, shoes, watches, and things like that. How they all left her as soon as their wants were satisfied. Then, when her ready cash was gone, had come Who Flung to denounce his predecessors as a scoundrel and took up around the house himself. It was he who persuaded her to sell her house and come to Tampa with him. The town had seen her limp off. The undersized high heel slippers were pushing her feet, her tied feet that looked like bunions all over them. Her body squeezed and crowded into a tight corset that shoved her middle up under her chin. But she had gone off laughing and as sure as Janie had been. Then 2 weeks later, excuse me, excuse me for real. Then 2 weeks later, the porter and the conductor of the northbound local had helped her off the train at Maitland. Excuse me, it's allergy season for me and mine be tripping. Hair all gray and black and bluish and reddish in streaks. All capers that cheap dye could cut was showing in her hair. Hold on, let me mute this mic real quick because that ain't gonna help y'all. All right. Now we got it. Good. Let me put this back on. I know y'all hearing all that weird ass noise, but if you in the ASMR, have fun. All right. Then 2 weeks later, the porter and the conductor of the northbound local had helped her off the train in Maitland. Hair all gray and black and bluish and reddish in streaks. All the capers that cheap dye could cut was showing in her hair. Those slippers bent and gripped just like she had worn feet, the corset gone, and the shaking old woman hanging all over herself. Everything that you could see was hanging. Her chin hung from her ears and rippled down her neck like drapes. Her hanging bosom and stomach and buttocks and legs that draped over her ankles. She groaned but never giggled. She was broken and her pride was gone. So she told those who asked what had happened. Who Flung had took her to a shabby room in a shabby house in the shabby street and promised to marry her the next day. They stayed in that room 2 whole days when she woke up to find Who Flung and her money gone. She had got up to stir around and see if she could find him and found herself too worn out to do much. All she found out was she was too old of a vessel for a new wine. The next day, hunger had driven her out of shift. She had stood on the streets and smiled and smiled and then smiled and begged and then just begged. After a week of world bruising, a young man from home had come along and seen her. She couldn't tell him how it was. She just told him she got off the train and somebody stole her purse. Naturally, he had believed her and taken her home with him to give her time to rest up for a day or two. Then he had bought her a ticket for home. They put her to bed and sent for her married daughter from up around Ocala to see about her. The daughter came as soon as she could and took Annie Taylor away to die in peace. She had waited all her life for something, and it had killed her when she found it. That's wild. The thing that made itself in the pictures and hung around Janie's bedside all night long. Anyhow, she wasn't going back to Eatonville to be laughed at and pitied. She had $10 in her pocket and $1,200 in the bank. But oh God, don't let T-Cake be off somewhere hurt and I not know nothing about it. And God, please, sir, don't let him love nobody else but me. Maybe I'm a fool, Lord, like they say, but Lord, I've been so lonesome and I've been waiting, Jesus. I done waited a long time. Janie dozed off to sleep, but she woke up some time to see the sun sending spies ahead of him to mark out the road through the dark. He peeped up over the doorsill of the world and made little foolishness with Red. But pretty soon, he had laid all that aside and went about his business dressed in all white. But it was always going to be dark to Janie if Tea-Cake didn't come back soon. She got out of the bed, but the chair couldn't hold her. She dwindled down on the floor with her head in a rocking chair. After a while, there was somebody playing guitar outside of her door. Played right smart a while. It sounded lovely too, but it was sad to hear it feeling blue like Janie was. Then whoever it was started singing Ring the Bells of Mercy, called a sinner man home. Her heart all but smothered her. Tea-Cake, is that you? You know so well it's me, Janie. How come you don't open the door? But he never waited. He walked on in with the guitar and a grin. Guitar hanging around his neck with red silk cord and a grin hanging from his ears. Don't need to ask me where I've been all this time, cuz it's been my all-day job to tell you. Tea-Cake, good Lord, Janie. What you doing sitting on the floor? He took her head in his hands and eased himself into the chair. She still didn't say anything. He sat stroking her head and looking down into her face. See what it is. You doubted me about the money. Thought I had done took it and gone. I don't blame you, but it wasn't like you think. The girl baby ain't born and her mama is dead. That can get me to spend our money on her. I know that's right. The girl baby ain't born and her mama is dead. That can get me to spend the money on her. I know that's right. I told you before that you got the keys to my kingdom. You can depend on that. Still, and you went off and left me all day and all night. 'Twasn't cause I wanted to stay off like that, and it sure Lord wasn't no woman. If you didn't have the power to hold me and hold me tight, I would be calling you Miss Woods. I met plenty of women before I knowed you to talk to. You's the onlyest woman in the world I ever mentioned getting married to. You being older don't make no difference. Don't never consider that no more. If I ever gets to messing around another woman, it won't be on account of her age. It'll be because she got me in the same way you got me. So I can't help myself. Well, that's interesting. Right, I don't know. I told you it's allergy season, man. And I took some allergy pills, so it got me draining. I did. Saved my okay. Yeah. Doop, 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 doop. He sat down on the floor beside her and kissed and playfully turned up the corner of her mouth until she smiled. Look here, folks, he announced to an imaginary audience. Sister Woods is about to quit her husband. Janie laughed and at that let herself lean on him. Then she announced to the same audience, Miss Woods got herself a new little boy rooster, but he been off somewhere and won't tell her. First thing, though, Us got to eat together, Janie. Then we could talk. One thing I won't send you out is after no fish. I know that's right. He pinched on her side and ignored what she said. Tain't no need for neither one of us working this morning. Call Miss Samuels and let us fix whatever you want. TK, if you don't hurry up and tell me, I'll take and beat your head flat as a dime. Jesus Christ, boy, they got the interesting things. Beat your head as flat as a dime. That's wild. TK stuck it out till he had some breakfast. Then he talked and acted out the story. He spied the money while he was tying his tie. He took it up, looked at it out of curiosity, and put it in his pocket to count it while he was out to find some fish. When he found out how much he was excited and felt like letting folks know who he was. Before he found the fish market, he met a fellow he used to work with around the house. One word brought another and another one, and pretty soon he made up his mind to spend some of it. He never had in his hand so much money before in his life, so he made up his mind to see how it felt to be a millionaire. They went on out to Callahan Round, the railroad shops, and he decided to give a big chicken and macaroni supper that night. Free to all. Yo, I know this dude ain't take her bread and spend it on the chicken and macaroni supper. And I just watched they cloned Tyrone, and what they was feeding him, that goddamn fried chicken. He bought up the stuff, and they found somebody to pick the guitar so they can all dance some. So they sent the message around for all the people to come, and come they did. A big table loaded down with fried chicken and biscuits, and wash tub full of macaroni with plenty of cheese in it. The fellow began to pick the box, and people began to come from east, west, north, and Australia. And he stood in the door and paid all the ugly women $2 not to come in. One big Marion colored woman was so ugly till it was worth $5 for her not to come in. So he gave it to her. They had a big time till one man come in who thought he was bad. He tried to pull haul over the chickens and pick out the livers, and the gizzards to eat. Nobody else could pacify him, so they called T-Cake to come see if he could stop him. So T-Cake walked up and asked him, "Say, what's the matter with you, know how? I don't want nobody handing me nothing, especially don't issue me no rations. I always choose my rations." He kept right on plowing through the pile of chicken, so TK got mad. "You got more nerve than a brass monkey." That brass monkey been around for a minute. "Tell me, what post office did you ever pee in? I craves to know." "What you mean by that now?" the fellow asked. "I means this. It takes just as much nerve to cut the paper like that in the United States government post office as it do comes pulling and hauling over chicken I pay for. Hit the ground." Damn, they say hit the ground. "Damned if I ain't gonna try you this night." So they all went outside to see if TK could handle the bugaboo. TK knocked out 2 of his teeth, so that man went off from there. Then 2 men tried to pick a fight with another, so TK said they had to kiss and make up. They didn't want to. They'd rather go to jail. Well, everybody else liked it this, so they made them do it. Afterwards, both of them spit and gagged and wiped each other's mouth with the back of their hand. One went outside and chewed a little grass like a sick dog. He said it kept him from killing them. What? Yo, this dude makes up the wildest stories. Then everybody began to holler at the music because the man couldn't play but 3 pieces. So T-Cake took to the guitar and played himself. He was glad he had the chance because he hadn't had his hand on a box since he put his in the pawn shop to get some money to hire a car for Janie. Soon after he met her, he misses his music. So that put him in the notion he ought to have one. He bought a guitar on the spot and paid $15 cash. It was really worth $65 any day. Just before the day that party wore out, so TK hurried on back to his new wife. He had found out how rich people feel, and he had a fine guitar and $12 left in his pocket. And all he needed now was a great big old hug and kiss from Janie. This man done went, yo, And this time too, she had $200. He come back with $12 at the guitar. That's wild. You must have thought your wife powerful ugly then. Them ugly women that you paid $2 not to come in could get in the door. You never even allowed me to get that close, she pouted. Janie, I would have give Jacksonville with Tampa for a jump back for you to be there with me. I started to come get you 2-3 times. Well, how come you didn't come get me? Janie, would you have come if I did? Sure I would. I like fun just as you do. Janie, I wanted to mighty much, but I was scared. Too scared I might lose you. Why? Them wasn't no high muckety mucks. Them was railroad hands and they women's folks. You ain't used to folks like that. And I scared you might get all mad and quit me for taking you amongst them. But I wanted you with me just the same. Before us got married, I made up my mind not to let you see no commonness in me. When I get with my old habits on, I go off and keep it out your sight. Take my notion to drag you down with me. This is wild. This is wild. Look here, TK. If you ever go off from me and have a good time like that, then come back here telling me how nice I is. I expects to kill you dead. You hear me? So you aims to partake with everything, huh? Yeah, TK. Don't care what it is. That's all I want to know. From now on, use my wife and my woman and everything else in the world I need. I hope so. And honey, don't you worry about no little $200. It's big payday coming this Saturday at the railroad yards. And I'm take this $1,200. I'm take this $12 in my pocket and win it all back and more. How? Honey, since you lose me, loose me, and give me privilege to tell you about myself, I tell you, you done married you one of the best gamblers God ever made. Cards or dice, either one. I could take a shoestring and win a tan yard. What? I don't even know what a tan yard is. I might have to look that up. Wish you could see me rolling, but this time it's going to be nothing but tough men's talking. All kinds of talk, so it ain't no place for you to be. But 'twon't be gone long before you see me. All the rest of the week, TK was busy practicing up on his dice. He would flip them on the bare floor, on the rug, and on the bed. He'd squat and throw, he'd sit in the chair, he'd stand and throw. It was very exciting to Janie, who had never touched dice in her life. Then he had to take his deck of cards and shuffle and cut, and deal out and examine each hand carefully and do it again. So Saturday came. He went out and bought a new switchblade knife and 2 decks of Starback playing cards that morning and left Janie around noon. I know that's right. He going on some gambling for real. He done got his switchblade. And it's funny because he probably was over there practicing stacking the deck. And you know, a person like me, I researched that thing. They tell you. And the best technique I ever learned was how to break a stacked deck. So yeah, I got a darn spades trophy over there. I think I might have told y'all about it, but them old dudes beat us. They was old, but man, they played good. But I kept killing them, breaking their stacked deck. I kept seeing them eyeball each other like, what is he doing? I know, one cut. You just cut one cut to break a stacked deck. They'll start to paying off pretty soon now. I wants to get in the game whilst the big money is in it. Ain't no fun, no spudding today. I come home with the money, come back on a stretcher. He cut 9 hairs out of the mole. What? He cut 9 hairs out of the mole of her head for good luck and went off happy. Maybe I don't know what the mole of her head is, but I'm picturing a mole on her head. Janie waited till midnight without worrying, but after that, she began to be afraid. She got up and sat around scared and miserable, thinking and fearing all sorts of danger, wondering at herself, as she had many times this week, that she was not shocked at TK gambling. It was part of him, so it was all right. She rather found herself angry at imaginary people who might try to criticize. Let the old hypocrites learn to mind their own businesses and leave other folks alone. Tea Cake wasn't doing a bit more harm than trying to win herself a little money than they was always doing with their lying tongues. Tea Cake had more good nature under his toenails than they had in their so-called Christian hearts. She better not hear none of them old backbiters talk about her husband. Please, Jesus, don't let them nasty niggas hurt her boy. Joe, these niggas, I'm sorry. If they do, Master Jesus, grant her a good gun and a chance to shoot him. Tea-Cake had a knife if it was true, but that was only to protect herself. God knows Tea-Cake wouldn't harm a fly. Now, if you took that switchblade, you might have to. Daylight was creeping around the cracks of the world when Jamie heard a feeble rap on the door. She sprung to the door and flung it wide open. Tea-Cake was out there looking like he was asleep standing up. In some strange way, it was frightening. Janie caught his arm to arouse him and he stumbled in the room and fell. Tea-Cake, you child, what's the matter, honey? They cut me, that's all. Don't cry. Get me out this coat as quickly as you can. He told her he wasn't cut but twice. What? But she had to have him naked so she could look him all over and fix him up to a certain extent. He told her not to call no doctor unless it got much worse. It was mostly loss of blood anyhow. I won the money just like I told you. Around midnight, I had $200 and was ready to quit, even though it was a heap more money in the game. But they wanted a chance to win it back, so I set it down to play some more. I know old Double Ugly was about broke and wanted to fight about it. So I sat down to give him a chance to get his money back and then to give him a quick trip to hell if he tried to pull that razor. A glimpse in his pocket. Honey, no up-to-date man don't fool with no razor. I know that's right. The man with a switchblade will be done cut you to death while you fooling with a razor. But Double Ugly brags he's fast with it too to get hurt. But I know better. So around 4 o'clock, I had done cleaned them out completely. All except 2 men that got up and left while they had money for groceries. And 1 man that was lucky. Then I rose to bid them goodbye. None of them folk didn't like it, but they realized it was fair. I had done gave him a fair chance. All but Double Ugly. Double Ugly. He just really called him that. He claimed he wanted to switch the dice. I shoved the money down deep in my pocket and picked up my hat and my coat in my left hand and kept my right hand on my knife. I didn't care what he said, long as he didn't try to do nothing. I got my hat on one arm, my coat on the other. Right there, he jumped me. He jumped at me as I turned to see the doorstep outside, cut me twice in the back. Baby, I run my other arm in my coat sleeve and grabbed that nigga by his necktie before he could bat his eye, and all was over. Damn, and I was all over him just like gravy over rice. He lost his razor trying to get loose from me. He was hollering for me to turn him loose, but baby, I turned him every which way but loose. He left on that doorstep and got there. I left him on that doorstep and got here the quickest way I could. I know I ain't cut him too deep because he was scared to run up on me close enough. I sort of pulled the flesh together with sticking plaster. What? I'll be all right in the day together. Oh, I say pull the. Okay, well, he's gonna glue his cuts together, and he'll be all right. Janie was painting on iodine and crying. You ain't the one to keep crying, Janie. It's this old lady that ought to do that. You done give me luck. Look at my left hand. Look in my left hand pants pocket and see what your daddy brought you. When I tell you I'm gonna bring it, I don't lie. They together counted $322. It was almost like Tea-Cake had helped up the paymaster. What? It was like Tea-Cake held up the paymaster. Okay. He made her take 200 and put it back in the secret place. Then Janie told him about the other money she had in the bank. Put that 200 with the rest, Janie. My dice, ain't no need for assistant to help me feed my woman. From now on, you're gonna eat whatever my money can buy, and you wear the same. When I ain't got nothing, you don't got nothing. That's all right with me. I know that's right. He was getting drowsy, but he pinched her leg playfully because he was glad she took things the way she wanted to, the way he wanted her to. Listen, Mama, as soon as I get over this little cut and scrape, we gonna do something crazy. What's that? We going on the muck. What's the muck? And where's that? Oh, down in the Everglades around Cluestown and Belglade, where they raise all that cane and string beans. Folks don't do nothing down there but make money, fun, and foolishness. We must go there. He drifted off asleep, and Janie looked down on him, felt a self-crushing love. Her soul crawled out of his hiding place. Had a little drink of water, and then we're going to do chapter 14. A little hungry, people. You know what that's all about. To Janie's strange eyes, everything in the Everglades was big and new. Big Lake Okeechobee, big beans, big cane, big weeds, big everything. Weeds that did well to grow waist high up the state were 8 and often 10 feet tall down there. Ground so rich that everything went wild. Volunteer cane just to taking the place. Dirt roads so rich and black that a half a mile of it would have been fertilized a Kansas wheat field. Wild cane on either side of the road, hiding the rest of the world. People wild too. Season don't open up till the last September, but we had to get here ahead of time to get us a room, T-Cake explained. 2 weeks from now, it'll be so many folk down here they won't be looking for rooms. They'll just be looking for somewhere to sleep. Now we got a chance to get a room at the hotel where they got a bathtub. You can't live on the muck without taking a bath every day. That mucker itch you like ants. Tain't but one place around here with a bathtub. Tain't nowhere near enough rooms. What we gonna do around here? All day I'm picking beans. All night I'm picking my box and rolling dice. Between the beans and dice, I can't lose. I'm going right now to pick up me a job. Work with the best man on the muck before the rest of them gets here. Yeah, you can always get jobs around here in the season, but not with the right folks. When do the jobs open up, T-Cake? Everybody around here look like they waiting too. That's right. The big man has a certain time to open the season, just like in everything else. My boss man didn't get sufficient seed. He's out hunting up a few more bushels. Then we's gonna plant bushels. Yeah, bushels. This ain't no game for pennies. Po man ain't got no business at the show. That very next day, he burst into the room in high excitement. Boss done bought out another man and want me down on the lake. He got houses for the first ones that get down there. Let's go. They rattled 9 miles in a borrowed car to the quarters that squatted so close that only one dike separated them from the great sprawling Okeechobee. Janie fussed around the shack making a home while T-Cake planted beans. After hours, they fished. Every now and then, they'd run across a party of Indians in their long, narrow dugouts, calmly winning their living in the trackless ways of the glades. Finally, the beans were in. I'm hearing some stuff. I'm just trying to pay attention. Excuse me. Nothing much to do but to wait to pick them. TK picked this box a great deal for Janie, but he still didn't have enough to do. No need for gambling yet. The people who were pouring in were broke. They didn't come bringing money. They coming to make some. Tell you what, Jenny, let's buy some shooting tools, and go hunting around here. That would be fine, Tea Cake. Wait a minute. Where we go? Oh, we skipped around. I gotta get back to 14. Oh, Jesus Christ! I went dang 3. I hate when that happens. And I don't know what I'm doing that makes that happen, but other than being old, I tap the side of the screen and I'm trying to scroll and just keep doing this thing. I'm like, what? We're gonna go to chapter 3. And then I gotta scroll all over looking crazy, trying to find where we at. Forgive me, people. Doop, 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 doop. What's that? 18? What the hell? 16? Hey, what is that? I just read that and it was long. Doop, 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 doop. I'm sorry. All right, picking beans, open season, date beans, shooting pistols. All right. I'll tell you what, Janie, let's buy some shooting pistols and go hunting around here. That would be fine, Tea Cake, except you know I can't shoot, but I'd love to go with you. Oh, you need to learn. Tain't no need you not knowing how to handle shooting tools. Even if you didn't never find no game, it's always some trashy rascal that needs a good killing. That's fucked up. I mean, that's messed up. He laughed. Let's go into Palm Beach and spend some of our money. Every day they were practicing. Tea Cake made us shoot at little things just to give a good aim. Pistols and shotguns and rifles. It got so others stood around and watched them. Some of the men would beg for a shot at the target themselves. It was the most exciting thing on the muck. Better than the juke in the pool rooms unless some special band was playing for a dance. And the thing that got everybody was the way Janie caught on. She got to the place she could shoot a hawk out of a pine tree and not tear him up, shoot his head off. She got to be a better shot than Tea Cake. They go out any late afternoon and come back loaded down with game. One night they got a boat and went out hunting alligators, shining their phosphorescence, I know that's right, eyes and shooting them in the dark. They could sell the hides and teeth in Palm Beach besides having fun together till work got pressing. Day by day now, the hordes of workers poured in. Some came limping in with their shoes and sore feet from walking. It's hard trying to follow your shoe instead of your shoe following you. No, that's right. They came in wagons from way up Georgia, and they came in truckloads from east, west, north, and south. Permanent transients with no attachments and tired-looking men with their families and dogs and flivvers. All night and all day, hurrying in to pick beans, skillets, beds, patched up spare inner tubes all hanging and dangling. The ancient cars on the outside and hopeful humanity herded and hovered on the inside, chugging on to the muck. People ugly from ignorance and broken from being poor. All night now, the juke joints clanged and clamored, pianos living 3 lifetimes in one. Blues made and used right on the spot, dancing, fighting, singing, crying, laughing, winning and losing, love every hour. Work all day for money, fight all night for love. The rich black earth clinging to bodies and biting the skin like ants. Finally, no more sleeping places. Men made big fires, 50 or 60 men slept around each fire, but they had to pay the man whose land they slept on. He ran the fire just like a boarding place for pay, but nobody cared. They made good money, even to the children. So they spent good money. next month, next year, with other times. No need mix them up with the present. I know that's right. Tea Cake's house was the magnet or the unauthorized center of the job. The way he would sit in the doorway and play his guitar made people stop and listen and maybe disappoint the juke for that night. He was always laughing and full of fun too. He kept everybody laughing in the bean field. Janie stayed home and boiled big pots of black-eyed peas and rice. Sometimes baked big pans of navy beans with plenty of sugar and hunks of bacon lying on top. That was something Tea Cake loved, so no matter if Janie had fixed beans 2 or 3 times during the week, they had baked beans again on Sunday. And she always had some kind of dessert too. As Tea Cake said, it give a man something to taper off on. Sometimes she'd straighten out the 2-room house and the rifle and have fried rabbit. I know that's right. For supper when Tea Cake got home. She didn't leave him itching and scratching in his work clothes either. The kettle of hot water was ready and waiting when he got in. Then Tea Cake took to popping in the kitchen door at odd hours, between breakfast and dinner sometimes. Then often around 2 o'clock he'd come home and tease and wrestle with her for a half an hour and slip off back to work. So one day she asked him about it. Tea Cake, what you doing back in the quarters when everybody else is still working? Come to see you. The boogeyman liable to tote you off while I'm gone. Tain't no boogeyman got me to studying about me. Maybe you think I ain't treating you right and you watching me. No, Janie. I know better than that. But since you got that in your head, I had to tell you the real truth so you can know. Janie, I gets lonesome out there all day. After this, you better come get a job and work out there like the rest of the women. So I won't be losing no time coming home. TK, you's a mess. Can't do nothing but can't do that about what? Can't do without me. Without. Excuse me, this spelling be wild sometimes. Without me that little time. Tain't no little time, it's nearby all day. So the very next morning, Janie got ready to pick beans along with Tea Cake. There was a suppressed murmur when she picked up the basket and went to work. She was already getting to be a special case on the muck. It was generally assumed that she thought of herself too good to work like the rest of the women, and Tea Cake pumped her up to that. I know that's right. But all day long, the romping and the playing they carried on behind Big Boss's back made her popular right away. She got the whole field to playing off and on. Then Tea Cake would help her get supper afterwards. You don't think I'm trying to get out of taking care of you, do you, Janie? Because I work alongside me. Tea Cake asked her at the end of her first week. Oh, no, honey, I likes it. It's more nicer than sitting around these quarters all day. Clerking in that store was hard, but here ain't got nothing to do but do our work and come home and love. The house was full of people every night. That is, all around the doorstep was full. Some were there to hear Tea Cake pick the box. Some came to talk and tell stories, but most of them came to get in whatever game was going on or might go on. Sometimes Tea Cake lost heavily, for there were several good gamblers on the lake. Sometimes he won and made Janie proud of his skills, but outside of 2 jukes, everything on that job went on around those 2. Sometimes Janie would think of the old days in the big white house in the store and laugh to herself. Excuse me. What if Eatonville could see her now in her blue denim overalls and heavy shoes, the crowd of people around her and the dice games on the floor? She was sorry for her friends back there and scorn for others. The men held big arguments here like they used to on the store porch. Only here, she can listen and laugh and even talk some herself if she wanted to. She got so she could tell big stories herself from listening to the rest. Because she loved to hear it and men loved to hear themselves, they would woof and boogaboo around the games to the limit. No matter how rough it was, people seldom got mad because everything was done for laugh. Everybody loved to hear Ed Dockery, Bootney, and Sop the Bottom in the skin game. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ed Dockery was dealing one night and he looked over at Sop the Bottom card and could tell Sop thought he had something that was going to win. He hollered, I'll break all that up setting up eggs. Sop looked and said, root the peg. Bootney asked, what you gonna do? Do. Everybody was watching that next card fall. Ed got ready to turn. I'm gonna sweep out the hell and burn up the broom. He slammed down another dollar. Don't oversport yourself, Ed. Bootney challenged. You getting too yaller. Ed caught a hold of the corner of the card. Sop dropped a dollar. I'm getting to shoot in the hearse and don't care how sad the funeral finna be, Ed said. You see how this man teasing hell? Tea-cake nudged Sop, not to bet. I know that's right. You gonna get caught in a bullet storm if you don't watch out, Sop said. That ain't nothing about the bear but his curly hair. I can look through muddy water and see dry land. Ed turned off the card and hollered, Zachariah, I's come down out the sycamore tree. You can't do no business. Nobody fell on that card. Everybody was scared of the next one. Ed looked around and saw Gabe standing behind his chair and hollered, move more me, Gabe. You too black. You draw heat. Sop. You want to pick up that bet while you still got a chance? Nah, man. I wish I had 1,000 legs to put on. Oh, so you won't listen, huh? Dumb niggas and free schools. I'm going to take it and teach you. I'll mainline, but I won't sidetrack you. Ed flipped over the next card and Sop fell and lost. Everybody hollered and laughed. Ed said, get off the muck. You ain't doing nothing, that's all. Hot boiling water won't help you, son. Won't help you none. Ed kept on laughing because he had been so scared before. Sop, Bootney, and y'all that let me win your money, I'm sending it straight off to Sears and Roebuck and buy me some clothes. And when I turn out Christmas Day, it would take a doctor to tell me how near I is dressed to death. I know that's right. He said he gonna be fresh to death. All right, I think that's good. My throat dry, allergies acting up. We got 2 chapters in, and we're doing pretty good. Yeah, we probably got about 90 pages left. Yeah, so I appreciate your time again. We're gonna wrap this party up. Man, I'm tired, so thank you for your time. I appreciate your patience, and I will see you next. Ooh, God, excuse me, that was so rude. Jesus Christ. That water. Now, see you next week. Forgive me.